What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Friday, somehow we made it all the way to the end of the week. That was a wild week, but we still got some people hanging in there. We still got some people hanging in. So good morning to Albert. Good morning to Cheryl, Diane, Frank. Georgie is announced. Good morning to you. We got Jeff, Joe, JT, Carl, Lauren, Marius, Martina. Good morning to Micus. We got Rick, Shane, Tim, all my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to Real Virtual Demand. We got Damien in the house. Good morning to you. All my lurkers in that background. They're just not saying nothing in YouTube. That's okay. I still love you. But you can throw some tickers out there. Throw some stocks you guys want to look at. Real Virtual Demand. He's got it. He's got it down. He's got some SPY and BTC. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. Today is triple witching day, so a lot of options expiring. We talked about this yesterday, so probably a little bit of volatility today, I would think. More so, probably, I would assume somewhere maybe right at the open and then somewhere toward the close. And then I don't know, maybe a little of just a stagnant type day today. But what does that mean going forward? Well, if all the options are expiring and people need to set new plays, we could see either a new direction in the market. We could see continuation in the market. We'll see what happens and which way those kind of new options and train of thought comes in, as market is looking to expire pretty close to the highs of ever, which is pretty impressive. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on that one. But yeah, a little bit of a gap down. So nothing too crazy. I don't know. I have TOS. TOS and my trading view are like disconnected. I'm not sure why. Somebody let me know where you guys have your closing price of SPY yesterday. I have on TradingView 570.98, but then you have a SPY on TOS at 569.23. So I'm not sure why there's any disconnect there between the two. I don't think I've seen that before. Maybe one is not working. I'm not sure. But let me know what you guys have on your screen for where you have the SPY closing. We will see. Otherwise, still inside day from yesterday, so not a horrible gap down. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. But if we do break the low of yesterday, we do have a little bit more room down. I think we have yeah, we got a decent amount of room down to like 563.90. So things could get a little bit wild, especially now that we have triple witch Friday. Mike says I see the same difference on TOS and TradingView. Yeah, so it's not me. I thought maybe like the TOS was frozen, or I don't know. I'm not sure why there's two two different markets happening. I don't know. But support on the SPY, if we could drop a little bit further, that gives us like $4 to the downside, so that's 563.44. Resistance, I think, comes in somewhere around 571.25 if these numbers are all correct, based on maybe it's TOS that's correct. I don't know. So what I would like to see at open, at least, I think we have a little bit of risk reward, providing that we open right where we're at now. We don't drop a little bit further. If we hang on to this level, okay, at least we're in the bottom of yesterday. That might give us a little support. We could get some kind of a bounce into this 570 and change zone, 570, almost 571, 570, 98-ish. And then I think you get a much bigger risk reward to the downside if we kind of choose to break down, and that runs us into that previous little support. We'll see. If you drop right at the open and they're just going to be mean bullies and not let us really get into much, and it's just a quick drop, I'd still be looking for that support, see if you get some kind of a bounce somewhere in that zone, and then close probably at that point right at the low, or pretty much right where we opened today. So I'm not expecting a huge move price wise in terms of where we open and close, but I do think we probably have a little bit of volatility throughout the day. So we'll see what happens though. Otherwise, nothing too alarming quite yet. We get the Qs. Qs also with a little bit of a gap down. Nice little high wave candle. We were almost dead center on that one. We were essentially right where we opened yesterday on the Qs. So we're still enjoying the benefits of that gap up, but we could have skipped yesterday and came in and had the same kind of day, I guess. So we'll see what happens. If we start losing the opening price, probably a little bit more downside. You got support Not too far away. 481.47 would be my next support. I think we got one a tad lower, 480.64. If we start breaking that, it gets a little bit more ugly, down to like 478.71. So we got some decent support. Resistance from yesterday on the Qs is going to be thrown up at 484.38. So we'll see. But yeah, just inside day. I think a little bit, maybe a little bit exhaustion volume, exhaustion from the bulls at least of just nonstop buying forever, just continuously buying. So we'll see if the bulls want to take a little bit of a breather today. Corey says TM Toyota. Be careful with the gaps on this one. So it does gap every single day, almost a good portion of the time. So the gap on this one is a little less significant. Other than that, we are opening essentially right into that 100 EMA. Did they have any news today? Toyota up over 4% on track for largest percent increase since February. That came out 19 hours ago. Question is why? What did they do? Why did they do something fun? Tesla registrations and you take a hit in 2024 as EV demand slows. That's not good for Toyota, for Tesla. Japanese auto stocks gain on a weaker yen. Okay. So the yen is weakening. I did see Baba up today. That one's having a nice little gap. But yeah, you're right at the 100. I don't know if I would say this is. I think that most of those news articles are actually from yesterday, and this is probably more continuation. I think we probably get rejected. We pull back. Look for like if you want to get long, you're probably looking for at minimum 184.35, and then maybe we even come down to this 183.55. Probably light volume on this one too. So day trading, just watch the spreads. I think it could get probably a little spready. Jeff says you and Baba. It gives me something to do. I'm not allowed a hobby, Jeff. My hobby is Baba. That's all. That's not at my $800 price target. So I got a long relationship with it. That's all. All right, we got Nike. Nice little gap up. Yeah, so new CEO. I think they got the guy from I think he used to be at PayPal for a while. Speaking of companies that I just watch all day. But Nike, yeah, so new CEO came in. I guess they didn't like the last guy. Yeah, somebody said that in Slack. Like maybe the last guy, that's gotta be rough for a CEO on his ego. You leave the company and the stock jumps 6%. I think it was up closer to 10% at one point. But that came out almost right after the bell, so that news has been out there. We are in no man's land. So I have the next immediate target anyway, 89.27. And then I think I got my next support somewhere around 85.14. I kind of like to fade new CEO news. To be honest, I'm like, okay, cool, you got the job, but is your position in the company really worth 6% more than it was yesterday? Maybe it is. I don't know. You also have that 200 coming in. That's gonna shake things up a little bit. So that's right at $90. Where did we end up hitting yesterday after hours? What was the high point? We almost ran into that 200, so we already hit that. Uh, it is good news. It's not really a gap and go. Yesterday was a fade. So yesterday was a retrace gap. So I think if you were in this thing, you were probably just selling. There's probably still some bulls in here taking some gains today. I think this is more of a fade. Probably not all the way down to the candle from yesterday. I don't think we closed that gap today, but I wouldn't be shocked if we could probably play this one to the short side. Let's scroll that one up there though. So Nike TM is an ADR. So is Baba. Yeah, I don't mind the ADRs. I'm okay. I'm okay with that, especially even traded wise, especially. And then obviously Toyota, we know what Toyota does. So, but Baba, nice gap on Baba today too. Again, I own shares. I probably won't day trade this one just because I do own shares. It is a little bit of a retest gap opening into a pretty decent resistance zone. I think we could start to break probably 89.51. That could actually give us a pretty decent run where next target comes into like 91.29. We might see that today. Otherwise, really, really, really good support down on this one. I would think somewhere around 88.32. So if this does fade, you want to try to get in long. That's where I would do it. Let's check out Baidu because maybe I'll trade something besides Baba. Maybe I'll give that a whirl. I don't know. No issue, just explains the gaps. Yep. Yep, gaps all day. And again, it was a decent move yesterday for TM, so that one I think fades. Um all right, maybe I throw my hat into the world of Baidu today. That looks like a decent double bottom on a long term. Man, nobody brought this one up for a swing trade in a swing trade room yesterday. I didn't see it either. To be fair, you have a little resistance, $88.08, and then you got 88.38. But if we get through that next target, short term target 89.48. You got a nice little. It's not really a 10 EMA since that's I believe the 50 EMA. So you got the 50 EMA play. Interesting. Yesterday was a gap and go, came back, failed, retested. Nice little pop, closing above the 50. I'm gonna get this one on the list. Let's see if we could get some Baidu action in there today. I'm gonna be like the UN of trading. I'm trading everything from anywhere. We should look at was it Jumia? We should look at that one too. Oh, come on. Come on, Trading View. Go higher on my list. I got Trading View working real slow today. It's like, man, it's Friday. Don't even try to move any tickers around. All right, there we go. All right, we got that one up there. I know Real Virtual Demand said BTC. I think Bitcoin was still moving this morning. I saw Coinbase was up too. So Coinbase with a little gap. We should check that one out as well. Bitcoin already starting to fade. I would like to see this thing get above 63,160. Pretty decent retest into the previous resistance, so that kind of failed. Maybe we're due for a little bit of a pullback. You might have some buyers coming in 62,260. I think they probably come a little bit lower. I think a better spot if you're looking to buy somewhere around 61,008, 61,081. I mean, but would not be shocked too if we just have a small day. Well, obviously, it's volatile. We'll probably get a little bit more of a pullback, and then just kind of hangs out in this price range for today. I think, especially after 3 pretty strong days of moving, and then maybe allow the weekend to do its work. Let's check out Coinbase though. Coinbase. It was gap. Yeah, it was gapping a little bit better this morning, like a good 30 minutes ago. Otherwise, that kind of came down. We are at the low of yesterday. We do have yesterday's VPOC. That's going to be resistance somewhere around 172.18. So if you want to try it, I'd probably throw stops at the low of yesterday. Otherwise, I would just be patient. See if you get some kind of retest into like 164.74. And then a much better place would be somewhere around this 162.39 if you can catch it. But we'll see. We got TCOM. That's not. I know I said the letters, but I typed something different completely. That's wild. Uh, Trip.com. Why do I feel like this is gonna be spready? That's a nice gap though. Trip.com. I've never been to Trip.com. I've never typed that into my website browser. Out of all the crazy things I've typed in, Trip.com has never been one of them. But China's mid-autumn. Is this like online traveling for China? That is, hmm, suspicious. But good gap on that one. I don't really see any real crazy news, except if it is related to China in any way. The entire Chinese market was kind of moving bullish. Look for resistance around 49.05. I think the next one 49.10. If it's a really, really good day, starts to break some key levels, look for $50.59. Trip.com. I'm gonna have to check them out. I'm gonna have to see where they go to. Where can I go to? CEG. I think there was a potential buyout that came in this morning. Let's see if the news came up yet. These stocks are moving the most. Yep. And then I think Clarice wants FedEx too, so good look at that one. Yeah, Constellation Energy was rising 9.1% as the company signaled an agreement with Microsoft under the Constellation. So not a buyout, but they have a deal with Microsoft, which Constellation would restart the undamaged reactor in at 3 Mile Island. Oh no. Oh no. This has nightmare written all over it. The site of the worst nuclear accident in the US history and sell the power. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. History repeats itself. I've been told. Really good gap on it though, so if you want to get in before the zombies start coming, if you need some money to buy some more zombie protection kits, that's a fantastic gap. I would look for a little bit of a pullback. I don't think much. You probably looking for like 232, 36. If that does break, then I would look a little bit lower to 24.72. Depends on where it opens. We still got 12 minutes left. Really, really good gap on it. Probably a strong deal. And again, good deal for them. The rest of the world, not so much. Yeah, front row seats. Yeah. No, 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 no. Don't. I guess we're gapping up on bad news. That's. Whew. I don't know why I'm so scared right now. Oh, and Halloween is right around the block too. FedEx. FedEx earnings were good. They were they were decent, I guess. They got them as a miss here. I don't know. I thought they were pretty good though when they came out, but they're saying they did miss. The biggest part of this one, I think the market really hated was that their priority shipping was slowing down, and they do make a decent amount of money off priority shipping. So it's either people are trying to cut back on costs or nobody's shipping anything valuable anymore. One of those two things. Either way, decent gap down. This one's starting to move already. Before when I was looking at this thing again 30 minutes ago, we were sitting a lot closer to I think this 254 range. So it's already starting to pop. I think this one is a retracement gap. I think it pops up. But since we've moved already, now I'm kind of forcing myself to be patient on it. See if we get that pull back maybe into like this 253.08. But I'm gonna get this one higher on the list too. This was actually sitting right next to Jumia as well on my list. But let's see if I get this one higher. And if it doesn't take 35 minutes to do so, it might take 35 minutes. Come on, you trading view. There we go. Now it's speeding up. All right, we'll get that on the list a little bit higher as well. But yeah, I would at these levels again. I don't know where the sentiment is on this one. This is also it's kind of extended to be a island reversal. I don't think this quite is textbook island reversal, but that's where you have that big gap up, big gap down. In some sense, it looks like it. I think it's just a little extended for this. I don't know. Somebody with more technical pattern recognition that sticks by the book. Would you consider this an island reversal if this does not close today? If you got the feel to it, I just think it's a little too extended to be a textbook one, but which would be a very bearish signal for FedEx. Otherwise, at this point, since we've already risen again pre-market, let's see if we get that pullback, and then I would look to try to go long for me on this one. All right, Google, GOOGL. I'm glad 3 Mile Island is still hanging in there, though. That's good for them. All right, we got Google. They're gapping up because they're not making deals to to start up nuclear power plants that melt down. And never mind. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. People like it. I like it. That's a decent move again. Yesterday was a technically a gap and go, I guess, but you had a nice little run in front of it. Good high wave candle. Ended up coming down for the retest. We're still gonna be faced with some decent resistance, but I'm liking this open. I think we would probably get to 165.50 at least. I would think if it wants to. I'll get that one a little higher on the list too. But yeah, that's bullish. Maybe right out of the gate, since we do have that 50 EMA right in front of us, even though it's a gap and go, let's see if we get a little pullback. Look for somewhere around 162.95. But I'm okay with this one. If we take a high wave candle, we do have that 100 EMA right in front of us, somewhere at 164.32. So we're gonna have to plow through that one. But if we can, we should get up to, I think, 165.60-ish, somewhere in that vicinity. VST. Santilla's in the house. What's up, Santilla? VST Vistra. Um, what's the news on Vistra? No, not the Constellation 3 Mile Island thing again. I can't escape it. Are they in this deal somewhere? What are they doing? Why did this article come up again? Maybe is it like a sympathy play? This might be a sympathy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Vistra is. I really want to say that they're the company that just sends you free business cards for no reason, but I know for a fact that's Vista, not Vistra. Big resistance on this one. I would say somewhere around 99.20. If you could get through that, your next stop is 102.50. Pretty good bullish run into this one. Even yesterday's red candle, it's a retrace. We actually closed higher than the day before. I think this is a retest, if anything. So if you're gonna trade this one, I'd probably be looking, see if you get a quick pop out of the gate, and then see if you can find a breakdown somewhere. But not every article could be about 3 Mile Island. Tesla, Nvidia, and AVGO. Let's see Tesla first. This one I was looking at this morning, and again, pre-market, it was looking decent. We had a nice little gap up on it. We've since given that back. We've almost, I think my risk to reward is starting to get a little shot on Tesla at this point. I would be looking for about 247.67. I'm not getting great risk reward on this one in a bullish direction. That is clearly a bull move. Maybe this thing wants to retest like 50% retracement of yesterday's candle. Actually, that kind of lines up with a decent VPOC. So maybe if I want to try this one bullish, and again, we could probably try to play a quick fade out of the gate. And I also think that there's going to be a little volatility from triple witching today too. So maybe we do get some over exaggerated moves on something. I don't know if Tesla's going to be one of them, but there's definitely lots of options on Tessie. But if this one comes into like this 239 range, that might be your spot if you're going to try to go long. Otherwise, risk to reward if we want to go short. If we get a little pop, especially as close as possible to 243.19, that's where I would attempt to go to go short, and then probably throw some kind of stop 244.80. So it'd have to be a tighter setup. I wouldn't want to be in this thing trying to capture a big massive move today, but maybe a 1.2 on either ends. And if I go bullish, if I go bullish, that's my that's my opportunity, I think, to maybe sneak anything more than a 1.2 out of it. If I have the belief that we're going to break through this 243.42, then I do have a little bit bigger targets. If this thing comes down first, and I could buy it off 239, that would give me a decent setup. So I'm going to watch Tessie. We'll see where that one ends up going. Nvidia. But that was a big day for Tesla yesterday. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's a little bit more muted today. We got Nvidia with a gap and go to the bear side. We were looking at this in the swing trade room, trying to figure out how we want to play it. I still kind of like it in the bullish direction, but we were trying to figure out where the best entry would be and stops and maybe something like this. I don't have it open. I'm not taking it. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. But probably if you're looking for swings, wait till Monday. Wait till the quad witching nonsense is done or triple witching nonsense is done. Just my opinion. But you got Nvidia with a gap and go. So we got resistance on this one, 118.71. A lot of things were making pretty decent moves yesterday. Nvidia was kind of stuck. The first support on this one, not much lower, but we got 116.66. I do think this is a good entry spot, and the reason I didn't really want to take this one is because I got my 100 EMA pretty far away. This is a little pivot, but I think this pivot can break down. We haven't really came down to really retest this 109.40 zone. So maybe we get a little bit more of a pullback to the downside. And then if we do want to play it bullish, that's probably how I would have to try it. But kind of a tight range today on Nvidia. It is a gap and go, so maybe leaning a little bit more to the bear side if you're going to try that one. AVGO. Broadcom. Small gap down, nothing crazy. Looks a little bit like almost the rest of the market. So you had that little gap up, high wave indecision yesterday. Definitely hanging out at some good resistance. We've already had a really good move already. Only a small little bull flag. It's a tough one to short, but if you go short, you got your stops sitting somewhere probably around 170.45. I think you should be good. Maybe you want to go a little bit higher, just above the opening price of this candle. So 171.25, swing to the short side potentially. You are above all moving averages. It's not going to be an easy short. But it's also kind of tough to go long up here, I think. I would need probably the high of yesterday to break out, and that would be my signal that we go higher. Next resistance would take me to about 171.41, and then after that we got 174.82. So those would be that would be my extended target, at least for today. We will see. We will see. All right. Which stocks did I miss? BKR. Baker Hughes. Honestly, I kind of like it. Not really doing much. No real gap. Great day yesterday. Good close. I would love to see this one first break 36.46. We did that yesterday. Targets on this one would take me to 37.50. Really? That's the morning bell? Maybe we can get a high wave candle. I think if this one starts breaking 36, 37, then watch out below. We probably got a deeper retest into like 35.72. But that is the morning bell. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. We made it to the end of the week.